All right, folks, still live here at the Reawaken Tour 2022 in Post Falls, Idaho. And I just happened to run into this gentleman. I'm sure you guys recognize him, the one, the only Scott McKay. How you doing, brother?
Good to be here, buddy.
Well, this is my first Reawaken tour that I've been part of. Scott, we were talking off air. You said you've pretty much been to every one that Clay Clark has put out. So tell the audience real quick, what is so great about the Reawaken tour, and why should people come out to it if it's near and close to them?
Well, for me, it's great because I get a chance to meet the audience. And, most people know that when I'm here, I spend virtually no time in the green room. I'm with We the People, just getting a chance to, say hello, talk about what they're doing in the fight. I think the best part about all of it is it has a sort of a unification movement with all the Patriots that are here, speakers, and I've been on all of them since the very beginning, and I've watched the speaker Rolodex grow. Now at these events, we have, of course, Eric Trump with probably the last 4 or 5 events. Don Jr. came in one of these events, but the speakers are now able to collectively talk amongst each other about what we're doing in unifying a movement, like we've obviously set the world on fire with Operation Tomahawk. So now the other people are coming to me to say, hey, we see this movement happening, tell us about it, we want to get involved. So these initiatives that people are engaged in when they're on the battlefront, we can see it, we hear about it, our audiences are a lot of crossover with our audience and each other. So in my opinion, I think this is a way that we can not just unify We the People, we got to unify We the Patriot too, because there's a lot of, you're part of the community, you see what goes on out there, a little bit of dissension, positioning, all that. We don't have time for that anymore. We don't have time for serving self. This is a serving others movement. And I think this is one of the unifying forces in the country where patriots coming together and say we have a common goal, let's stay focused on the goal, and let's get people on their feet so we take the country back.
That's awesome. And, I was just part of Mike Lindell's Truth Summit last month. Great energy there. Wonderful patriots. Got to meet a lot of wonderful people. And this is another great venue. And the energy here is even, in my opinion, you can't even keep it inside the racetrack because we're actually on a racetrack here in Post Falls, Idaho. It's great, and I've met some great people here as well. And you're right, this is a great opportunity for you as the viewer to come to one of these events. You get to meet people like Scott McKay, you get to meet me, Clay Clark. General Flynn is here. He's going to come talk to us here in about 90 minutes. Just a great place for you to come and feel like you belong and you're part of something.
Photobomb.
We just had a photo bomb, but that's all right. So you're right. It's just a great place for people to really come and just feel like, hey, we're part of the family, we're part of the Patriot movement, and our voice does matter, Scott. And that's the thing is we're out there fighting each and every day in the trenches. We're at the tip of the spear, and we're out there having our voices heard. And I just really want people to realize that they can get involved.
I agree. You said it earlier that when people come to one of these for the first time, it blows them away because there's this, I call it the temporal love bubble. You got this massive energy field. When people walk into it, who've been lonely or their family have been oppositional to them or their friends. And so I said many times how many people are losing family and friends over this war, and everybody raised their hand. I said, first of all, birth canal is not the identifier of the important family in your world. It's a pipeline into this existence. Look around you. This is your family. This is your ascension family. We're all coming together because not everybody's going to ascend through this process. As this earth is moving from a third density ascension place into a fourth density, not everybody's going to survive that transition. The ones that are here likely are because they have a higher frequency and they're going to be part of that movement. So you see all these people coming together as part of that spiritual family that long ago was already decided that we're going to move together, come together, move together into this next density on our spiritual track. So you have to be here to believe it. You can see it. from a distance from on a camera, but until you actually attend these events, and I know I spent the last 18 months meeting tens of thousands of people, so I spent little time in the green room. I'm out there connecting with the Army, the people, and I hear the same thing over and over. People are blown away about what they see at these events, this energy level, this frequency. Everybody's changed. Once you leave this event, everybody is there. And that's the greatest thing.
I'm telling you, I can feel the energy, and we're in the media tent right now. The stage is probably a good 100 feet away. The crowd is another 100 feet away in the grandstands, and you can hear it. You can feel the energy. I encourage each and every person out there, if you have an opportunity to come to one of these Reawaken tours, anything with Mike Lindell and his team, Trump's rallies, I haven't experienced yet, but boy, I really hope I get the opportunity, because that's probably even another level.
I blew my first Trump rally experience. We had a tour event in Des Moines last year. So we come around the corner. They had set it up so I could bring the bus in there close to the venue. The people were amazing. So at some point, Secret Service wouldn't let my security detail come in, certainly not arms. They couldn't even escort me to where they're going to put me. But when they did hand me off to Secret Service, they walked a full way toward the back, and they positioned me. I was positioned behind Trump on the stage to the far right. And then they came over a little bit later, and then they asked me to move into the middle. They put me in the middle, right behind the podium, long before he came on. So I had my Children Are Not For Sale shirt, and I had my vest on. So all the other media's there, other people are speaking, I'm like, pull my shirt open, like, Children Are Not For Sale. So then they came and they moved me off to the side. Give me some bullshit reason why they had to. I'm like, I just said, tell your supervisor, if you're bullshitting me about why you're moving me, you might want to learn a little bit about what I do. So I ran a shitstorm down. I need liars. And they were, sorry, Mr. McKay, blah, blah. They ended up moving, and I thought, you know what? The smartest thing that they did was move me out of there, because I would have blown the most important event of my life, sitting right behind Trump on camera, and possibly doing what? Taking the attention away from the master, right? By showing an important message, but it hadn't registered at that point. Once they sat me over, I thought, you know what? I'm not mad at them. They did the right thing. They moved me out. Like, so I'm making a statement. Here be Donald Trump, right? I'm like stepping behind the spotlight. So I nearly blew my first, Trump rally.
Did you get to meet Trump personally?
I did. They said it was going to be set up in a tent later that evening or whatever. It just never happened. I think it happens a lot. Hey, you're going to get to meet Trump. I hear it all the time, and people show up, and Trump's not going to have time to meet anybody. But look, if Trump was wasting his time to meet me, shit's going sideways, right? He needs to focus on what he does.
Absolutely.
I'd like to, but let's face it.
Well, to all the Patriot Street Fighters out there that follow you constantly, Scott, on all the platforms, you're on all the same platforms I'm on too, and there is a million of them out there, and I've got a million Liberty Warrior Nation warriors out there too. What is it that we want to leave them knowing today about the movement, about what we're involved in, and how can they get involved at the local level?
That's exactly right. Local level is important. First of all, what everybody wants this whole storm to be over with. I've heard it many times. I want this thing to be done, right? And it's not about this thing getting done. It's about getting it right. We have only one chance, or they, the military, Trump, anybody else in the background, specifically we the people, have one chance to get this done and get it done right. So people sitting back doing nothing and complaining about, hey, I get tired of this. The simple fact is, when we the people stand up in massive numbers, we only need 4 or 5% of the country. We the people stand up together and say, it's over. You're done. Consent of the government. That's the most important point in my opening. Consent of the government. They have the consent of us, the government. When we decide they don't have consent anymore and enough stand up, then these liars, criminals, thieves, and scumbags who are in the political class see we're on our feet. They'll have the same fear of any dictator that ran into exile when they knew the people were moving against them, because they knew they'd be torn to pieces. Because, as I said before, they're always chicken shit cowards. They're bullies, and they'll do this to we the people of humanity right up until the point where they know we can't do it anymore. If we try, they're going to take our heads off. that's a fact. But unifying is critical, and a lot of people are, some people don't have that personality like you. Like, I'm going to go to the school board meeting, or I'm going to go to the town council and just say, cut the bullshit, and inspire people in the crowd to say, I'm with him. You guys are full of shit, and put the heat on them. That's why we launched Operation Tomahawk, which has become a juggernaut, because that's the way every American can get into the fight by gutting the cash flow of these killers and these multinational companies that have been selling us poison our whole life. And I put that message out 5 months ago, and it turned into a mushroom cloud. And of course, now we have the other, Dave Scarlett, Charlie Ward, a number of people now moving into this operation to get in this battle, because that's the way. We've already taken their veil of secrecy right here.
Yep.
This is their biggest weapon, but not anymore. Right here, we've destroyed their veil of secrecy right there. Now we're going after the cash flow. If we take away their cash flow, they collapse under their own weight.
If we take away their cash flow, they shrivel up. And it's my opinion, but I think they're already up against the ropes. There is so much going on. When they attacked Trump at his personal residence in Mar-a-Lago, they just attacked Mike Lindell last week at a Arby's restaurant. These guys are running, and they're running scared. They are, in my opinion, they are getting really close to having their heads pushed under the water.
It's interesting. As Russell J. Gold calls them, the fumbling, bumbling idiots, the FBI. We get a lot of good guys in the FBI.
Yeah,
and they're with us. And like Mike said, hey, we're on the same side, and they were like really very polite, very kind guys. They're the patriots that happen to be inside of a bad organization, good people in there. And they're taking their orders from the scumbags at the top. So you FBI guys out there that understand that we're hammered away on your organization, it isn't you. We know you're there. We're counting on you when that day comes where you have to make that decision to support we the people. We'll be here for you too. But we don't want to always rain a shitstorm down on these guys because they're giving orders. And they know it isn't right. And I'm telling you, the critical mass we can get for these guys too. And you keep doing what you're doing an amazing job. You're one of the first, when I started in Patriot Street Fighter, I started bringing on like newer channels. You were new at that time. You're like one of the first ones we brought in. And look what you've done. Boom.
Yeah, Shane Phelps, he reached out to you.
Yeah.
And I was actually in Riggins, Idaho at the time. Shane says, you're not going to believe this. I got Scott McKay to come on the channel. I'm like, no way. He came on. I was nervous. Not so nervous this time, but I was definitely nervous the first time. And it was awesome.
Yeah, when he got a taste of me for about 5 seconds, his nervousness went away. He's like, he's a good old boy like I am.
Exactly. It's been awesome. It's been really cool to connect with you and watch the Reawaken tour, because Scott's speaking tomorrow right around, is it 1 p.m. Mountain Time?
Roughly 1 or 1:30.
Or Pacific Time? I think we're on Pacific Time.
We have Pacific Time right here?
I believe we are. We're an hour behind Mountain Time, and I'm on Mountain Time.
Okay, so wow,
we are.
Yes, we would be. Yeah, so that'd be 1 or 1:30 Pacific.
All right, so that's roughly about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you guys. Everybody's putting out the Reawaken tour. You can find it on Rumble. Go to Rumble. It's all over Rumble right now. I believe the Resistance Chicks is putting it out live, so a lot of people doing that. But Scott, it's a pleasure meeting you finally in person, and thank you for jumping on, and I'm sure we'll be in contact. So, guys, thanks for joining us. I've got a ton of other people wandering around here that I'm going to grab and do interviews with. So stay tuned, pay attention, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Please follow him. He's kicking ass, big ass.
Thanks, Scott.
Awesome.